good. Under the foundation, the deck, and the sidewalk. Cool.
Alright, so welcome back to another video here. We're going to do a pipe burst, trenchless sewer pipe replacement. Check out the Milwaukee 14-inch cordless cement saw in all its glory before it's used for the very first time. You can see the sticker still on the blade. Brand new. It'll never look this clean ever again. That's okay. It's meant to be used. This is the MX Fuel new lineup that they got going on. So this is the very first use that I have it for. Down here in the basement, we're going to be cutting open the slab concrete foundation, floor I should say, and this is back in I think October 2020, so it's been a couple months going trying to get this video up and running. So we'll get starting cutting this concrete open. I'm gonna speed it up to give you an idea of what it can do and how long the battery lasts. It'll be about 5-6 foot of cutting through this old hard 5-inch thick slab, and it works perfect, absolutely phenomenal in a basement like this where we got people living in the house. There's no fumes, there's no dust because you got water. So I'm gonna let it cut. You can see what it does, see if it's a fit for your work, for your application, as it is as much for my application here. Alright, so hopefully that gives you an idea of how well it runs. I have a separate video on it titled Cutting Cement with Battery Power Milwaukee MX 14-inch Saw. So you can go check that out on my YouTube channel. There's a separate video just on this saw. Pretty slick for what I'm using it for.
Here's the mess we're left with. Gotta crack a few eggs to make an omelet. So this 150 foot of 3/4 inch cable was all wound up in the tire. One of the guys on the excavation crew had the genius idea to get this actually. The tire is the exact same thing I use for my sewer augers anyways. So we're on the same page there. And from the house, lateral to the street, and now I'm going to feed the cable through. You can hear the excavator getting in place. I should be able to push that cable straight through, but we'll see. Obviously, it's no big deal because I can actually push something through from the street end, grab a hold of this cable, and then pull it out. See how this goes. So as you can see, I'm pushing this 3/4 inch cable through. Now in some cases, we do have to push something from the other end into, for example, this house, and attach this cable on, pull it from the other end out. But this is a straight shot. The previous job that we did where we had a bunch of different pulls through a bunch of different lines, I had to actually push from the other end and then use that to pull this 3/4 inch cable back, which is fine. It worked out pretty good. It just makes it really easy when it's a straight shot like this to make it go in one go, and then the guys out at the end of the street can actually pull the rest of it through, and then I don't have to push 150 foot of cable in all the way.
Okay.
You might be able to hear a little bit of muffled voice shouting through the sewer pipe, telling me to keep pushing the pipe. And then you can see it's getting pulled out on the street, and then they're going to set up the hydraulic pulling unit, and then we're going to get ready for the pipe. But they pull the rest of this cable out, as you can see, and then I got the shackle here. Keep a couple feet out of the trench, which I will join the pipe bursting head.
Pretty cool. We have a direct line of communication through the sewer pipe. Okay, let's go out and see what we're looking at. And we join the head to this. I wasn't worried about putting the pre-burst head on right here because that's big enough. It can start in on the pole head itself. Guess I'll show you what I mean when I get there. And now it's time to fuse some pipe. I already took the liberty of squaring it up because with this machine here, knives on either side so that it can chew away at both pipes that you're joining together to square them up. Look at that, beautiful. We're at 450 degrees.
So this is the pipe fusion rig. That's a hot iron, heats up to 450 degrees, melts the ends of these pipes, HDPE pipe, melts them, give it a couple minutes. Actually, I think I was setting it at about a minute and a half, and then when it's warm enough, you'll see it squeezing together, and it basically fuses itself together. When it melts and it makes contact with both pipes, I give it a good push, hold it for about 4 or 5 minutes, and it'll fuse into one solid length of pipe. And we'll let that cool for about 10-20 minutes, at which point we're ready to start feeding it into the basement, and then you'll get an idea of what we're doing right here.
So this is how we're feeding the new pipe in. Your options get kind of limited in a space like this.
So if you're wondering what that is right there, that strap lock, like Rigid calls it the strap lock. It's a little bit different than a strap wrench itself. Anyways, it's pretty slick using for something like this if you're wondering what it was. Rigid strap lock. So this is a reverse thread, so I'm actually tightening that end right there, and what it does is grip the inside of the pipe. So as I turn it, opposite of what I'm used to, it's left hand thread basically, it will actually tighten up the inside of the pipe and kind of mushroom out the end of the pipe. So at that point, you know it's tight enough. And a lot of times when we do get done pulling, it is a little bit more loose on the end of the pipe than it started with. But basically, as it's pulling the pipe, it actually grips it harder because of the way the wedge inside the end of the pipe works with the teeth and all that good jazz.
Alright. That should be interesting. Yeah. I was waiting for you to get ready. Alright, pull it.
So at this point, excavator out at the street has the machine in place, and he's using the hydraulics on the machine to power the cylinders on the pulling unit, and we're starting to pull it in place, and it will move what, like 5-6 inches at a time, and that's the travel of the pistons, and then resets and pulls again, resets and pulls again. And I'll bring up a video clip here shortly once this pulling head starts slicing and bursting open the pipe. Here, just give it a couple seconds and you'll see as it enters the pipe. This is the this is the moment it's all been leading up to. It'll burst open the old pipe, bring in the new, be good to go. So this is actually a clip from a different job that we did before, but it's because I did not get video of the pulling machine on this particular job we're actually doing. But you get the idea. It's got a pulley, there's the cable, it's got some teeth that grip the cable, and it's got the 2 cylinders, which are running the hydraulics from the excavator, and it pulls it in place. It's pretty slick, I gotta tell you what.
You got this one a lot harder than corrugated.
Lovely. Awesome. See the end of it?
Yeah, I just seen the end of the where the metal's hooked onto the cable.
Yep. I figured we were pretty close.
talking, we need to paint the last like 3 foot of this cable red.
That's a good idea. Yeah, or do something because paint will just come right off.
Yeah, plastic dip something.
Watch the hoses. You might have to loosen it more than you think. Gonna make a compact double clean out. Street Y. Street 45s.
So the idea here, of course, is to make as small as a clean out assembly that I could, because the distance we had between the sidewalk and the curb of the street was limited, so that made it nice and compact for 2 directional cleanouts. So that's makes it simple when I was able to join it up with that 4-inch line that we just pulled through there coming out of the newly created hole, and then after the clean out assembly, of course, attach it to the lateral going to the city. He just hoisted up that pipe burst head to me and I grabbed it. We got that out of there, and then at this point you don't see a whole lot more because I didn't get video on it, but attach the clean out assembly, get some stone in there, backfill, that's done, and then put some new cement back in place where we cut up the cement floor in the basement, and that'll be done. But I won't be done making videos on the pipe burst because we got another one coming, and this one is a bit more challenging. Once I upload it, you'll see we got issue after issue, and we're actually cutting open the slab in the middle of a house while the residents are living in the room right across the hallway. So that's a challenge there, among other things. I'm going to try to get working on that as soon as I can. But until then, I hope you learned a little bit about pipe bursting. Super fun to do as long as you have everything in place and got a good crew. That's very important. So again, hope you learned a little bit. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next one.
Yep. These are just my everyday work, dude. Yeah. Oh, there you go. Is that one of the flat face or not? Probably not. That's alright. It'll be ground off.